6 words. 1 question mark. That's all it took to turn the most photographed couple in hip-hop into a meme that won't die. A billionaire's silence is louder than a diss track. And right now, somewhere in Beverly Hills, a man who used to be pretty flacco is staring at his phone wondering why his partner, the woman with the most powerful repost button on earth, never tapped share on the music he spent 8 years building. Sit with that for a second, because the more you look at the timeline, the weirder the silence gets. Real quick, y'all keep this channel breathing. So smash that like, lock in the bell, subscribe if you haven't, and stick with me. What comes next is messier than the timeline lets on. Here's the bones. On May 15th, 2026, Drake released Iceman, one of 3 albums he dropped the same day, alongside Habibti and Maid of Honor. Buried on track listings, a song called Burning Bridges. 6 words inside it have since metastasized across every comment section on the internet. Your baby mama ain't even post your single, damn, where she at? The target, allegedly, Rakim Mayers, better known as ASAP Rocky, formerly Pretty Flacco, currently the father of Rihanna's 3 kids. The receipt being weaponized, Rihanna's social feed during the entire rollout of Rocky's album, Don't Be Dumb. Now watch this. Let's let the actual paper talk first. No spin, no theories, just what's been printed. The line itself, lifted straight from the official lyric sheet. I swear I could cry when I see your face, / I'm way too in love, to just let you walk away, / I know it's your dream to start a family, in LA, / they love me too much here. I can't relocate. Then mid-verse, the pivot. Your baby mama ain't even post your single, damn, where's she at? That's from Genius's full-text drop of the song. Cold. Almost too cold. Billboard cataloged every shot across Drake's 3-album dump and grouped this one inside what they called the Burning Bridges / Firm Friends cluster aimed at Rocky, listing it alongside lines about brothers trying to fix things and albums dropping anyway. Then there's the follow-up on Firm Friends, the one that made even Drake apologists wince, the KYASAP acronym line that Elite Daily flagged as literally spelling out his hatred for his former friend. Damn. And then, because karma is a comedian, Boozy Badass pulled up in the comments on a completely different topic and torched Rocky over the thong situation, telling his timeline, this got to be AI, and announcing, this world coming to an end. A grown man invoking the apocalypse over underwear. Okay, for the chart side of things, and this is the part Drake's defenders skip, Don't Be Dumb didn't flop. Billboard confirmed it debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 with around 123,000 equivalent album units, Rocky's first chart topper in over a decade. So the silence wasn't because the music failed. The silence happened anyway. That's the part nobody's untangling. Now connect the dots. Because this isn't a single moment, it's a pattern. Roll it back. Don't Be Dumb arrived after 8 years of teasers, delays, scrapped rollouts, leaked singles, and silence. The single Punk Rocky. PlayStation-themed visuals, GTA-inspired, the whole Rocky aesthetic, landed and peaked low. The follow-up did similar numbers. None of it had a Rihanna co-sign attached. None of it lit up her grid. Not the singles, not the visuals, not the rollout. Then boom, the album hits number 1. Now she posts. Just here to let you know my baby daddy got the number 1 album. Glory hour. Victory lap. Actually, hold on, back up. That's the part that lands different. She showed up for the trophy, not the campaign. There's a real distinction there, and Drake, who studies media patterns the way most rappers study Ableton, would have clocked it months before he wrote the line. Fast forward. Rocky's Don't Be Dumb tour gets announced. Rihanna posts a TikTok of a woman dance walking with the caption, me pulling up to my man tour in flats cause now I gotta bring the kids. That's the support post. A meme. Not a clip of him performing. Not a flyer. A meme. Then Iceman drops May 15th, 2026. The internet does what the internet does. Drake fans flood Rihanna's IG with where she at. On every photo she uploads, regardless of context. Vacation pic. Where's she at? Kid's birthday. Where's she at? Fenty campaign. Where's she at? The bar didn't just go viral. It rewired her comment section. And here's the mechanic most people are skipping. Drake didn't invent the absence. He just named it. The silence was already public record, A billion-dollar artist with the most engaged audience in pop music chose not to amplify a single during her partner's biggest rollout in a decade. That data was sitting there for anyone to read. Drake just turned the data into a hook. That's the play. Not a diss. A receipt. Look at the verse architecture, because nobody's actually reading it. The opening of Burning Bridges isn't about Rocky at all. It's an extended apology to a woman who wanted to build a life in L.A. while the narrator couldn't leave home. I know it's your dream to start a family in L.A. / they love me too much here. I can't relocate. That's confessional. That's tender. That's a man writing about losing somebody to geography. Then the camera cuts. Same song, same beat, same breath. And suddenly we're in 2026, and the new man's getting roasted for an unposted single. Drake didn't just write a diss. He wrote a 15-year time-lapse and made you sit through the heartbreak before he detonated the punchline. That's structural cruelty. Pull up Rihanna's posting pattern across the full Don't Be Dumb rollout window. The album dropped late January 2026. The singles, Punk Rocky, the helicopter visuals, the GTA-themed PS1 era rollout, landed in the weeks prior. Her grid during that window? Fenty product, Met Gala glam, kids, ski trips. The first acknowledgement of the project came after the #1 debut hit. Not before. Not during. After. That's not laziness. That's not she's busy. That's a calculated rollout decision from one of the most strategically online artists alive. And Drake noticed. The tour kickoff. Chicago. A$AP Rocky was reportedly dropped onto the arena floor via helicopter for the opening number. Stole YA flow. With pyro and the full PlayStation-era visual world built around him. Multi-million-dollar staging. Custom production design. And then, somewhere mid-tour, fans started clipping a moment from the Charlotte stop, where Rocky turns and reveals what the internet has decided is either a thong or, more charitably, a jockstrap. The helicopter in trance lasted 6 seconds in the discourse. The thong frame is on day 11 and counting. There's a thesis hiding in there about which images travel. The expensive ones don't. The vulnerable ones do. Always. 3 outlets. 3 completely different scripts. Watch the framing, not the content. Billboard played it straight industry. Their Iceman coverage built a tidy ledger of every shot. Treated the thesis like data points. Never editorialized. Never picked a winner. Trade paper neutral. Pure capitalism. They report the punches because punches sell papers. And they don't have to pick a side because both sides spend money there. Capital XDRA went the other way. They built their whole Burning Bridges explainer around whether the line was a Rocky diss at all, leaning into the ambiguity, quoting fans, refusing to commit. That's the safety-first framing. Don't get sued. Don't pick a corner. Let the audience argue. Elite Daily picked a side and walked. They flat out called the Iceman lyrics a Rihanna and Rocky diss, named names, decoded the acronyms, and let the headline do the violence. That's the engagement bait framing. Loud, clean, unmissable. So 3 outlets, same 6 words. 3 completely incompatible stories. Industry Trade says it's commerce. UK Pop Site says it's ambiguous. American Culture Site says it's war. Now, the loudest counter to all of it. The one that keeps showing up in the comments. Drake's pathetic. He can't get over a woman who has 3 kids with another man. This isn't cell behavior. Steelman that for a second. There's a real version of that argument. A man in his late 30s writing apology verses to an ex-girlfriend on a major label rollout is, objectively, a strange way to spend $40 million in marketing. But then you look at the verse architecture again. The 2010 to 2026 time-lapse. The confessional opening. The geography of it. This isn't a man trying to win her back. This is a man documenting why he didn't move to L.A., which means the song isn't for Rihanna. It's for everyone who thinks she chose down. Different goal entirely. That's not pining. That's positioning. And positioning is where this gets interesting. The mainstream read on this thing is that Drake bullied a singer, Rocky got bodied, Rihanna stuck in the middle, and the comments are doing the rest of the work for free. Here's where my read breaks from the room. This whole thing, the Iceman rollout, the Burning Bridges placement, the Firm Friends acronym, the 6-word missile, was engineered to expose something that was already true but politely ignored. A$AP Rocky's career. since meeting Rihanna in 2020, has been propped up by proximity. Not music, not output, proximity. Think about it. Between testing in 2018 and Don't Be Dumb in early 2026, that's 8 years. 8. The man dated a billionaire, had 3 kids, walked the Met Gala steps, fronted Bottega campaigns, sat through a Swedish prison sentence, beat a Hollywood assault trial, and through all of it, his actual catalog stayed frozen. The relationship became the brand. The music became the side hustle. Don't Be Dumb was supposed to be the comeback. The #1 debut said it worked. The Rihanna silence said something else. And Drake, who has spent 15 years studying how to weaponize attention, saw the gap between the chart number and the Instagram post and built a whole song around it. That's the play. Not where is she physically. Not did they break up. It's why doesn't the biggest pop star alive seem to think her partner's music is worth her grid? That question is devastating because nobody, not Rocky's camp, not Rihanna's PR, not Roc Nation, has a clean answer for it. The TikTok of a stranger dance walking Instagram was the answer they tried. It didn't land. Here's the part that stings. Rocky has spent his whole adult life on the most expensive private security detail attention can buy. And the second a 6-word bar started clipping, his partner's playbook had no counter. They were caught flat-footed by a couplet from a guy in Toronto who hasn't been in the same room as Rihanna in over a decade. A few jabs for the road. The thong discourse boozy via Sandra Rose isn't the problem. The thong is content. The problem is that the thong is all the content. Every other story slid right off the news cycle the second the underwear frame dropped, which tells you exactly how thin the surrounding narrative was holding. A real cultural moment absorbs a meme. This one got swallowed by it. The babushka era worked because Rocky controlled the mystery around his own scar. He turned a face wound into a fashion movement. That was the talent. The talent was narrative. The talent was making you wonder, what's left of that? Watch how this curdles over the next few weeks. The "where she at" line is about to outlive the song. Comment sections on every Rocky post, tour clips, fashion campaigns, kid pics, nothing safe, are going to get spammed into uselessness, and his team is going to quietly start filtering keywords inside toupee periods. Rihanna's social will hit a measurable engagement dip because every brand partnership thread is now downstream of a Drake bar. Roc Nation noticed. Fenty noticed. Somebody upstairs is drafting a memo with the words "controlled visibility" in it right now. Drake doesn't need a sequel. The first verse already metastasized. Don't be shocked when Rihanna pivots, not into a defensive post, but into something bigger. A surprise single. A Fenty drop sized like a Super Bowl ad. An album rollout with a release date and everything. Her camp is too smart to let a 6-word bar define a Q3 narrative, and her best counter isn't a comment. It's a chart entry. The flip-the-table version of this story is Rihanna using Drake's heat to break a 9-year album drought. If our 9 finally moves, and the timing maps almost perfectly to her current Q4 window, Drake will have accidentally engineered the comeback he's been begging her to make for half a decade. The opposition prediction. Rocky's third single quietly underperforms while the entire conversation moves to her release calendar. The 5-year residue is where the real damage lives. Long after this album cycle dies. "Your baby mama ain't even post your single" is going to be the line every aspiring partner to a megastar dreads. The cultural shorthand for a relationship that didn't translate into a cosign. It enters the lexicon. It lives in screenshots. It outlasts both careers. The phrase becomes a diagnostic tool, the way Piped Rihanna became one a decade ago. Future rappers dating bigger stars will get tested against this bar before they release a single record. And the team that doesn't game plan for it loses the same way Rockies just did. That's the inheritance. A 6-word stress test built into the fabric of celebrity hip-hop with Drake's fingerprints on the lock. Somewhere in Toronto, a man is laughing into a glass of wine. Y'all already know what time it is. Hit that subscribe button. Tap the bell. Drop your read in the comments. I want the disagreements louder than the agreements. You won't catch this angle anywhere else. And the next one's already loading.